Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Iron Man 2 comic series, Iron Man. Although technically it is first appearance Iron Man. Now, like I said with my Crimson Dynamo figure review, this line actually really impressed me. I do think it's quite an improvement over Marvel Universe, although they are in the same scale. And so I went back and I picked up a handful more, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to grab, so I picked up one or two, but this guy was the only one that really jumped off the shelf at me. You know, I hadn't seen this guy when I kind of randomly grabbed Crimson Dynamo. I thought, just a passing glance, thought this was a first appearance, the first armor he wore in the movie, but while that figure does exist, this is actually the first appearance Iron Man as he appeared in the original comics, and just the amount of detail on this guy, even from in packaging, looks great. So over here you have his snap-on repulsor blast, of course his armor cards, you can see his base back there. Of course over here he has the number 22, still not sure what those numbers mean, there's different numbers on each packaging. Over here, Avengers Assemble, of course onto the back of the packaging. Up here it says, built based on the primitive transistorized chest plate that keeps Tony Stark alive, this is the armor that first allowed the billionaire inventor to become the Iron Man. Totally bulletproof and armed with magnetic repulsors, it allows Stark to hold his own against even the likes of the Hulk. So of course it says snap-on repulsor blast. Over here you have War Machine, Crimson Dynamo, and Iron Man. So that being said, really looking forward to this guy. Let's pull him out of the packaging. And here we have Iron Man out of packaging. Now let's get a quick 360 of this guy. The only issue I've noticed so far is that the repulsor blast, while you can get it to go on this hand, it seems to love to fall off this hand, so it's much better suited for the fist. Wrist is usually pretty loose as well. So that being said, let's go on to something that impressed me from right off, like I said, which is the detail on this guy. One second while I pick the camera up. You can see there's a lot of minor dings, there's a lot of really nice paint for a figure so small. It's really impressive. All the way around to this guy. There's a very nice rust color in there. So, once again, the detail on this guy is great. Of course, let's get his base and his armor cards out of the way. If you haven't seen my Crimson Dynamo review, of course, there's 3 cards, and you just kind of layer them on top of each other. Something I didn't know you could do, which is, you can take the cards and just kind of mix and match them, which I've just got the Crimson Dynamos randomly over here. So I guess you can kind of customize your own armor, which is neat, but not something I'm really interested in, so I'm going to be putting both these off to the side really quick. Where did I put his card? Okay. Once again, they do fit down in the base. Now, of course his base, it's the standard base for every figure. That's the one thing that's bothered me about the Crimson Dynamo after the review, is that the base doesn't seem to function all that great. The figures love to fall off, and as you saw in the beginning of the review, while they will stay, any slight movement will cause the figures to become disconnected. But not a huge deal. So that being said, let's go into articulation. Of course, does full 360 at the head. I will say it's all very stiff, but it's not a huge deal. Arms both go up to here. Of course, both do 360 degrees. Pin at the elbow and wrist joint. Of course, very, very slight abdomen movement. No waist joint. Of course, spins at the leg, double joint at the knee, ankle joint. Same for both legs. So, once again, some pretty surprising articulation to be such a small figure. Okay, let's get him connected to the base. And, of course, his repulsor blast. Once again, it doesn't love to stay on this hand, but this hand it works just fine. I'm not too crazy about it, honestly, but I wasn't really insane about the Crimson Dynamos either, and it's not like you have to pose it with the figure, so I'm not really holding it against it. So overall, this figure will only run you about $7 at most stores. Now, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. People seem to think when I said I like Crimson Dynamo, that meant I was, fully saying, oh, the Marvel Universe line is great now. I think this line is much, much better than the Marvel Universe. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still not messing with the Universe figures. At least until later this year. That Thor they're coming out with looks pretty nice. Long story short, these have a lot better detail, come with a base, come with more accessories in most cases, and are cheaper. and they look nicer, honestly. They look a lot more detail and work went into these. So I'm sorry if I'm offending any Universe fans. In my opinion, Iron Man 2 line is much, much better. If Universe gets to this quality, I will be picking them up. But until then, I highly recommend anyone pick up the first appearance Iron Man or just plain Iron Man. And I'll see you soon, YouTube.